I am in the wilds of Florida, way down upon the Swanee River.
Yes. Done the Tour Divide 5 times.
5 times.
And finished it 3.
And how long ago was your last attempt?
In 2023.
And how old were you at that time?
77, I believe.
77. Does that make you 79 now?
Yes.
When will you be 80?
September.
And did you complete it in 23?
Yes. Matthew Lee talked me into doing his race, and it was his race for several years, and he still is involved in the Tour Divide. Each year I've done it, I've been the oldest racer at the time.
Are you the oldest to complete it?
That is how Russell did it after I did it in 2017.
So the years overlap.
Yeah. But when I started the first day, my body's going, no, don't listen to your mind anymore, because your body is not up to snuff anymore, as old as I am. From there, I went all the way to Breckenridge by memory.
Oh, wow. That's impressive.
So you have to prepare mentally, not as much physically, but mentally, you have to really get into it. So the next 2 times I did it, 13 and 17, I finished and really was felt. The first time I finished, the emotions were so crazy that I didn't believe that I would have those emotions. I was crying. I was so happy I finished. I was glad it was over, but I was sad that it was over. And UPS supposedly had an accident and a fire, and I never got any of it back.
Oh.
And the first time we did it, that was when it first started for navigation purposes to use a GPS utensil. We had to go by, most of us used a physical map. You think about, okay, the wildlife out there, everybody's afraid of the bear. So the first time I did it, actually it was 2009. Coming down a descent, I turned the corner and there's a grizzly right in front of me, already heard me coming, so it's on a dead run. So I stayed behind it, about 10 or 15 yards behind it. And I'm just going like right behind it. Luckily, it didn't stop and turn around. So it veered off to the side and was running through the woods as I went by him. That was my closest experience to a grizzly bear. It's kind of like swimming in the ocean with sharks.
I'm okay with sharks. I'm okay. Mountain lions, I'm okay with. Grizzly bear, just nope, not going to happen.
And never did see a cougar out there. I saw some coyotes, lots of cows.
I bet.
A ton of cows. And during the night, their eyes shine green. They will take you off route for 50 miles to a bike shop, wait for your bike to get finished and bring you back to that spot. And one of them grabbed my derailleur and ripped it off. So luckily, and this was at like 1 o'clock in the morning, and it's snowing and sleeting.
Of course.
And I'm thinking my hands are shaking because I was so cold. I qualified for the World Championship in Hawaii. Did that in 1998. Done adventure racing. One was in Louisiana, and they said that it was the Serengeti and that we would see all sorts of wildlife, but basically all we saw was a bunch of cows on the...
If they're wild cows, it's wild.
So I'm always looking for new adventures. Pie Town's great, especially the toaster house. You can stay in the toaster house, just nobody's there. The lady just left it to the people that are hiking and biking through Pie Town, and she leaves it open, and some of the people take care of it. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's one, as a coordinator, as a promoter, as a events director, whatever you want to call it, that's one of the things I wonder about is, do people even have the time available to do something like this? Because it's probably going to be a little over 4,000 miles when it's all done.
But if you have a 20-mile section
that's nothing but sugar sand,
or 20 or 50 mile sugar sand, you'd be pushing that bike a bit. There's going to be a lot of people that want to race it, I think.
Maybe. I think there'll be people that want to set an FKT on it. Whether getting people to actually race it, that's probably that will take a few years those pieces to come together would be my guess.
I personally liked the old bike shop a lot better because it's more wide open. You got all the bikes there.
It was an amazing shop when I went. The bicycle industry is tough.
It's a great, if you're ever on the Tuba, you got to stop in to the Hubs and Hops.
Hubs and Hops is still a mandatory stop. First time I went in to visit them and introduced myself, told them what I was up to. Oh, I'm putting together a gravel route all the way across the country. The Georgia red clay gets clunky, but you don't sink all the way down to the floorboard of the vehicle. So what we're doing in Texas with the Tuba route, and what I'm going to do in Louisiana for sure, is we're doing what we call Tuba Loop introductory rides, where we get a bigger group together and just do shorter sections of the Tuba and have something like the state park overnight and come back a different way and make a loop of it.
A lot of my people don't like to do 100-mile days, and that's part of my training. A lot of people say, how do you train for the mountains, for the Tour Divide? It's time in the saddle, because you get into a rhythm on the climbs, and it's just that for like up to 6 hours. And the cost is almost the same as a one-day Ironman cost.
Which is what these days?
God, it's up to close to $900, I think.
It's got to be creeping up to $1,000.
Yeah.
I would love to do things, put on events in that structure where you just worry about pedaling your bike and we'll take care of the rest when you get there. Those extra 8 grams are ridiculous.
This whole body would love to sleep in a bed. Each time I've done the Tour Divide, I've lost basically a pound a day. I ended up losing 30 pounds. And 13 and 17, 30 pounds. And I look like I'm from a concentration camp after I finish up. My jersey is just hanging on me. But I just survive mostly on gas station food. If I can find one of a hot dog that's been sitting, rolling around for 2 weeks, I'll eat it. It's about 4 miles. There's a stream coming down where you're pushing your bike up. So it's not really a double track. It's a stream. How in the world can you do that in 11 days? He's from another planet. But you have some, since Mike Hall did it, there have been others that really unknown. They're really fast, but can they really do it? And this last guy, he could really do it. This is not something you just do and you're fast as hell. They go up and blow themselves up because it's a different mindset.
We went diving, beautiful dive, come up, and it's literally just one of those crazy cold Florida snaps, 7 degrees outside. And it's back in the days before we had all the decks and stairways and you're having to scramble up the cliffside. And by the time he's got an old Ford Escort, by the time we get to his car, every bit, our wetsuits are frozen. All of the dive gear, the regulators and the tanks, everything's absolutely frozen, solid chunks of ice. We both just laid in there for 30 minutes while the heater was blowing on us just to be able to get the wetsuits off.
And I had 2 of my friends join me for the swim across the lake and back. And within 10 yards, they turned around and came back because their face was on fire. And I gutted it out for another 10 yards, and finally it went numb. Since I started getting dropped on the hills, I've transitioned to e-bikes.
Okay.
So I have a Pinarello e-bike that's 26 pounds. I love it. But everybody says, you're cheating. Well, at 80 years old, you're going to want one too. For the Tour Divide, to me, that was God's country out there. And I spoke to God the entire way. Every day, I'd speak to him and thank him for what he's given us as a planet. Nature is my church. And I just love the Tour Divide because I feel so much closer to God in what he's created. It's not my DNA. If it's a race, I'm going to try to race it. And I've enjoyed it, racing. I wouldn't want to do it in the summer, probably the fall.
If you're thinking more than 50 miles a day, but not trying to knock out 200 miles a day. I'm thinking probably late September is about the right time to start it from Jacksonville. Ideally, I like to verify routes, not in the worst weather, but not in the best weather. So
Right.
I like to verify a route shortly after a good rain.
That's another thing about carrying your clothes.
How do you pack for 4,000 miles?
That's the thing. Here, you start here and it's hot and humid and you're going along and it's hot. And then all of a sudden you get a cold front, a freak cold front that comes through. A car with snow, just the only thing you could see, the top of the car, and it's 6-7 feet buried in snow at Dalton Pass. So everything had closed in a little tunnel. And I figure, okay, I need a extra light for climbing.
Those of us that put these routes together appreciate that you want to see it.
And another thing is nowadays, everybody has the earbuds. They're the one listening to music. I want to listen to the nature.
Yeah.
I want to listen to the elk bugle. I want to listen to the birds sing.